Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thanks for joining us today. It's a cold January afternoon here, but hey, no better time than a cold winter day to start planning forward for spring. So today we're going to talk a little bit about our spring plans here on the farm. As I typically like to do, I definitely take on way more than I can handle in a season, and I think that's probably going to be the same situation this year. So I'm not going to go too long today because the list will go on and on and on. But you also might be thinking I'm crazy talking about spring planting already. It is January 21st here in Pennsylvania, guys. Typically, I always think about Valentine's Day as kind of that range when you start your garden seeds, when you start those seeds indoors. So if you haven't even thought about it, I would definitely urge you definitely start thinking about that stuff. Some of you guys are further south than me. Some of you guys are way south, so you better get moving right now. I'll just tell you that because that time is basically here for you if you're going to start your seeds indoors. It is a way to definitely expand your, extend your grow season. So definitely something to think about if you haven't done it before. Now, we started our channel last year in July, so you haven't seen any content from us as far as seed starting. But you're definitely going to see that here over the next couple weeks. You're going to see kind of how we plan that stuff out and some things that we do to start our seeds here. I am currently in a bit of a dilemma trying to figure out where I'm going to start my seeds in the house. As the family continues to grow, my space continues to kind of diminish and dwindle away. So really gonna have to think about where I'm gonna put those seeds this year. Those grow lights are pretty strong. Obviously, you don't want them near the kiddos, anything like that. So I'm confident we'll figure something out. It might be an interesting setup to say the least, but again, more to come on that one. But where we're gonna start today is probably gonna be our biggest plans for the spring, and it's gonna definitely revolve around our sheep. You guys have seen our sheep on several videos. We're only at 6 right now, but we do have a pretty large pasture here. And my goal this year, guys, is to really expand our sheep flock. Right now, again, we're at 6. I would like to get to at least a dozen. I think that would be a fair goal, if not a few more, to have a little bit of surplus there. Hoping a few of ours are bred right now. It certainly seems that way. All signs are pointing to yes, which is definitely going to help that process along for us financially, and also just being able to source these animals. Sometimes here we are in Pennsylvania, sometimes they're very difficult to get your hands on. It's not the most common animal here at this part of PA. So I also don't want to be driving several hours to pick up some sheep. But with our sheep flock expanding, we're also going to need to grow our pasture a little bit. So I'm sitting here in our old pasture right now. I just thought it'd be a good place to kind of sit down and talk to you guys a little bit. But it is fittings here. So I have our old pasture here behind us. Nothing obviously here right now, or Bucky would be right at me. But we have all this. We have the area that we cleared of Christmas trees right here next to it, which still back and forth. We're still on the fence on, if we're gonna seed this stuff or not. Might just wait and see what the natural growth is. The pasture here behind us was grazed this past summer. I'm hoping we get some better regrowth here. Maybe I'll do some overseeding. I'm not sure yet. I'm still kind of working through that. The big project for us is going to be our west pasture, which again, I've shown you guys this one before, but we're gonna fence that whole thing in. It's about 4.5 to 5 acres. Gonna go with the timeless fence posts again, which we really, really like. They're easy to pound in. They definitely are durable as marketed, and we're gonna run high tensile over there. So a lot of fence posts to put in. We're gonna have to come up with an energizer solution. It is across the street from our house, so we're not necessarily gonna be able to run a wire or even an extension cord. It's too far for that. So we might go solar again there and build another energizer as the one that powers this pasture. But as you can imagine, guys, it's quite a bit of work. It sounds simple. It sounds like a simple process, but it is going to take several days to kind of get that all in place. It's also going to take time to find those animals, and hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully we have some good lambing here. I'll keep you guys updated as they continue to grow. The ewes that we do have here definitely are putting some size on. You can tell their bellies, sheep kind of get a little wider Whereas, you know, your pigs would, like Betsy you've seen before, she got lower when she was close to farrowing piglets. Again, sheep they get wider, they almost get that football type shape, and they definitely are growing in that direction. So happy times. But that is definitely our first order of business for the coming spring. All right, so number 2 order of business this spring is going to be our garden. This past season, we kind of neglected it, and it's for obvious reasons, guys. Our son was born in May. May in Pennsylvania is also when you're going to transplant your seeds. It's also when you're going to direct sow a lot of those summer and fall crops. So I wouldn't trade that for the world. That is perfectly okay with us, that we kind of just push the garden to the side. You know, we still got a pretty good harvest. We got a bunch of tomatoes, lettuce, actually a lot of broccoli. It's just not what we're used to from the past seasons. On a positive note, we were actually able to relocate our garden from about 100 yards away and across a creek, and where our pigs are now, to much closer to our house. So a lot more accessible for us. Really looking forward to getting out with the family this summer. Obviously, as the kids get a little older, it becomes a little easier there for us, and it's going to be a lot of fun just to get out there. It's pretty much in our yard, so it'll be really easy to just get out and do some simple things and have a good time. So looking forward to the results. We'll definitely keep you guys updated on how that whole thing works. We have endless amounts of manure. You know, we have sheep, pigs, chickens, so we're going to be able to do a lot with composting, things like that, and really looking to have some rockin' soil come spring here. Okay, so next up has to be our pigs. It's our largest animal here on the farm, and I really probably should have ranked this up with the sheep as far as complexity. We still have the 7 piglets. We have Betsy, we have Ziggy, who are our 2 breeders, and then we have one more male who's actually going to be harvested this coming weekend. So we're still going to have a lot of animals. There's still a lot of planning that goes into this stuff. There's a lot of different avenues I could go down. Couple things that are coming to mind and a couple thoughts that I'm kind of processing right now. Selling off the piglets obviously could be one option. It's probably the easiest option right now. Obviously the pig market, or I should say piglet market here in the middle of winter probably isn't the hottest, but come spring they'll still be pretty small that you could sell them if you wanted to. So that's obviously one, probably the easiest, make a couple bucks like that. Second option would be to raise them out like we did this past year. It does come at a substantial cost, of course, but there's also, you know, huge reward with that as far as raising out those animals. If you are selling them as live animals like you need to do, you definitely can profit a little bit on that way, as long as you can keep your feed costs down. Or if we just raise them out for family and friends like we did this past year, that's an option as well. Still planning on keeping Betsy and Ziggy. That's definitely, I think, that's set in stone at this point. We'll continue to let them breed. Expect probably a spring farrowing, a spring litter of piglets again, as we had this past year. They've definitely both actually been proven to be very successful, so no reason to really break that up. We are going to have to come up with some more infrastructure as far as maybe a farrowing pen, maybe something for the piglets to kind of get acclimated. So we'll probably end up doing that with some hog panels, something along those lines. Definitely thinking that one through. So again, pigs, they're going to be huge in our plans this year. They're not going anywhere on the farm. You might see us kind of fluctuate from time to time as far as how many we have, but I've really liked working with them. You know, they're definitely a lot of fun. We talked a lot in our last video about the intelligence level, and they're definitely very interesting critters and very rewarding to have here on the farm. So they're definitely going to stay. We're just figuring out kind of what type of scope are we going to have with pigs. And as you guys have all seen, you know, they break out, they break things. So it's just a matter of what tolerance are we going to have with that many animals, and we'll figure that out here along the way. So that's going to be it, guys. I just thought I'd share a couple of the many things that we're going to do on the farm this coming spring. The list continues to grow as always. I always take on more than I probably should here. And having a 45-minute drive to work certainly doesn't help that. Gives me a lot of time to think and a lot of time to continue to grow that list. But anyway, that's where we're at. A couple things there. Really our big three, I guess you'd say. The sheep, the garden, and continuing with our pigs. Those are definitely going to be our big ones. And with that, there's going to be a lot of projects throughout the year. Things to maintain, things to expand and simply just get better at what we're doing here. Ultimately, we want to continue to improve the health of our animals. We want to continue to improve the quality of the food that we produce here. That is our goal here on the farm. So we're going to continue to strive for excellence and continue to learn as much as we possibly can. But anyway, guys, I digress. That's it for today. If you like what we're doing, as always, you can subscribe to our channel. You can give us a thumbs up and like this video. You can also support us, something a little bit new. We are an affiliate with Tractor Supply. You can click the link in the description. That will help support our channel as well, help continue to kind of push us along in what we're doing here as well. So we really appreciate your support in any of those forms, and I thank you guys for watching. Enjoy the rest of your night.